Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this live stream. It does look like the United States are preparing for war. War on what level? War on the what spectrum? War on whose turf? On whose territory? Right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be quite honest with you guys. I've just heard the best U.S. war speech. The Secretary of War in the United States, Pete Hegseth. He just gave an absolute belter of a speech, guys. He really did. It does look like the Americans are preparing for a war. Now, as the Americans are talking about this, they're saying that, and it's true what they're saying. The Americans are saying we need to prepare for war because we want peace, which is absolutely 100% correct. If you prepare for war, if you are bigger, stronger, and tougher than your opponents, nobody's going to mess with you. Nobody's going to mess with you. But do you know what else preparing for war does? It prepares you for war. So some crazy things will be coming out of the United States in the last couple of hours, guys. Lots of crazy things coming out of the United States. Prepare for war. The United States are ready. World War III, you know, I mean, what other war would you be preparing for if it wasn't World War III? So I'm gonna share this speech with you guys in a minute. But before we get onto that, guys, I'm gonna come to the United Kingdom real quick. This is gonna be very distasteful. Do you know what? I'm not gonna do it. I'll do it towards the end of the video. It's about an NHS doctor. It's about an NHS doctor who did something to a woman, and I just want everybody to understand that while other countries are living their best life, they're pushing, driving, succeeding, they're building their economies better, they're building their military, they're building their pride, and pride's a massive thing, guys. You know, here in the United Kingdom, we are on a slow, well, it's not even a slow, we are on that slippery slope, and it's only going one way. Right, guys, the crux of this video is the United States are preparing for war. Does look like World War III is on the cards. I'm going to play you guys this speech now by the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. I'm just going to play it now, guys. I'll probably stop it in various parts, but
listed in every member of our American military. Good morning. Good morning.
When I was in the military, guys, before you get onto this speech, right? When I was in the military, I would have loved to get a speech like this. I can't, not in my wildest dreams as in the military, could I ever imagine receiving a speech like this from the defense secretary or the war secretary, as it is in the United States.
And welcome to the War Department.
I mean, they've got a war department, guys. Come on, they've got a war department. How intimidating is that? How intimidating is it that they've got a war department? We don't even know what we don't even know what a woman is in the UK.
Because the era of the Department of Defense is over. You see, the motto of my first platoon was those who long for peace must prepare for war. This is, of course, not a new idea. This crowd knows that.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. Right, guys. So for those of you guys who are woke, those of you guys who want to sing songs by the fire and just cuddle everyone and embrace everyone and say, "Oh, I love you, oh, no, I love you more. Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, I love you as well." That's fine. Just remember that your security is underwritten by the military. Nothing else. Nothing else. Security is underwritten by the military, ultimately. You know, all these legal firms and solicitors and barristers who do you know when the bad guys come over in their tanks? You know that you know all these legal firms right now are putting these legal charges in against our soldiers and chasing people through the legal system for hundreds of thousands of pounds because they get legal aid. You know those people, these little solicitors, a lot of them don't hail from the United Kingdom, but let's go with it. Sadiq Khan was one of them. He hailed from Pakistan. You know all these people with their little books and their little, oh, but this law says this and this law says this. Oh, but you can't do this because this law. Do you know where those guys are going to be when the tanks start rolling? They will be hiding behind the military and they'll be saying, oh, help me, military, help me. Those people don't care about my laws. No, because tanks don't care about legal systems, guys. They're tanks. They don't care about the legal system. And that's the reality of the future we are heading towards, ladies and gentlemen. How many times have I said this? Global conflict on an industrial scale. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare for war. The United States are getting ready for a global conflict on an industrial scale. Now, that is my speculation. I don't know how you would be able to reframe that. Sorry, let me continue.
The origin dates to the 4th century Rome and has been repeated ever since, including by our first commander-in-chief, George Washington.
Just to let you guys know, there were 14 presidents before George Washington. I'm just saying, I'm not saying Pete Hegseth was wrong. I'm just saying there was 14 presidents before George Washington.
First leader of the War Department. It captures a simple yet profound truth. To ensure peace, we must prepare for war. From this moment forward, the only mission of the newly restored Department of War is this: warfighting. Preparing.
How, guys, look, when I was in the military, I know I've said this before, literally a couple of minutes ago, we never got a speech like this. If I was to have a speech like this when I was in the military, I would have been so empowered. So empowered. You know, when I was in the military, you know, we had the, you know, in the military, the motto is doing the unthinkable for the ungrateful. Sorry. It's like, somebody give me the meme. It's like the underpaid doing the unthinkable for the ungrateful. That's kind of that is the motto of the British military.
For war and preparing to win. Unrelenting and uncompromising in that pursuit. Not because we want war. No one here wants war.
I bet Pete secretly wants a war. I bet Pete secretly wants a war, guys. That's my opinion, speculation, analysis. I think good old Pete, look, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I think Pete would be awesome to go out drinking with. I bet he would. I bet me and Pete would have an awesome, in fact, I bet me and Pete would have an awesome vodka session.
But it's because we love peace. We love peace for our fellow citizens. They deserve peace, and they rightfully expect us to deliver.
So for all the legal teams in the United Kingdom, all you little solicitors, with your little computers and your little books, you know when those tanks are rolling? You know when those tanks are rolling into that country? I tell you what, all right, here's a quick one, guys, all right? All the legal, all those solicitors, barristers, Keir Starmers who are use the law as a weapon. Oh, the law is so fantastic because we can do this. You know when those tanks start rolling? I'm just going to ask Keir Starmer to go out towards one of those tanks and show him your laws. Keir, go out there, stop that T-72 with your legal system. Oh, okay, I will. I'll go out there. Under Section 42. Jump. Yes, Keir Starmer no more. We eliminate problem. We do it with 50 caliber and 7.62 short. Yes, of course, we could use 7.62 long, but ammunition is slightly beveled and it takes a long time to put in machine. So I send Yuri up on Top Gun. He loves it. He has extended magazine he made for himself. He can take 100 rounds. Da 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 da. It's crackers, guys. People forget. I'm from the military, guys. I'm from the military. I've spent a lot of time in the military, not just the British military, other militaries around the world. And people forget everything is underwritten by the strength of your military. No exception. And if there is any exception, if you think there's an exception, show me a man that, in fact, you know what? If somebody thinks there's an exception, you show me that man and I will show you a bullshitter, guys. I will show you an absolute bullshitter. Everything is underwritten by the military. Sorry, guys. I know I do these videos and I say I'm going to let these videos roll and I always stop them. But what a fantastic speech.
Our number one job, of course, is to be strong so that we can prevent war in the first place.
Yes, absolutely. You do not prevent war by cutting your military. You do not prevent war by teaching your military wokeness. You do not prevent war by DEI hires. You do not prevent war by subjugating lethality for wokeness. You don't, guys. You don't. You do not do that. That is not a thing.
The president talks about it all the time. It's called peace through strength.
He's actually wrong. It's not called peace through strength. It's called peace through superior firepower. It's a thing. It's a thing. The only way you can achieve peace is through superior firepower. And all you liberals who want to go like hold hands, that's fine. Make sure you pay. Make sure your military is well funded first.
And as history teaches us, the only people who actually deserve peace are those who are willing to wage war to defend it.
Yes! Honestly, Pete, I want to be an American right now. Honestly, guys, like that little, you know what, guys? Let me just rewind that. Can I rewind that and get that back a little bit? Well, I'm just going to replay it.
You deserve peace.
Sorry, I'm not far enough.
And as history teaches us, the only people who actually deserve peace are those who are willing to wage war to defend it.
Absolutely. Absolutely, guys. The only people who actually deserve to live in utopia are those people who are willing to defend their borders, defend their rights, defend their culture, defend their way of life. Because if you're not willing to defend your own way of life, you don't want your way of life. That is the cold, hard truth. I want to go for beers with this guy, honestly.
That's why pacifism is so naive and dangerous.
Yes, pacifism. Pacifism, guys, honestly. Like what he's saying there is like, you know, if you're a pacifist, oh, let everybody do their own thing. And, oh, yeah, come over here to you want to do this to our young girls. Oh, that's fine. Have some money. Oh, you're going to keep doing it. Have some more money. Have some more money. No, stop. That needs to stop. Honestly, guys, I know I said I was going to play this video through without stopping it. But, like, you know what? I'm listening to this video right now. Do I want to use the word jealous? I'm not going to use the word jealous, but the stuff that he's saying in this video, guys, is so powerful and it's so correct. And this is resonating with people right now. Can you imagine if we had a war secretary, the war secretary of the United Kingdom who's coming up and he understands people? I don't think, in fact, I'm sure You know, John Healey, the Defense Secretary of the United, he's never served in the military. Bullshit! You need to serve in the military to be the Defense Secretary. That should be a thing. How can you serve as Defense Secretary or War Secretary if you've never been in the military? You can't.
It ignores human nature and it ignores human history.
Human history, what do I always say, guys? What do I always say? I always say we can't avoid being humans because we are human.
Either you protect your people and your sovereignty, or you will be subservient.
Bullshit! Fucking honestly, either you protect your people or you become subservient. Guys, listen, those of you guys who are listening from the United Kingdom right now, does it look, and this is a question if you're in the UK, straight up question, from what he just said there, you either protect your people or you become subservient. And he's right. I believe that statement's correct. You either protect what you've got or somebody comes and takes it. We're humans, guys. That's how we roll. So you either protect your way of life or you become subservient. If you live in the United Kingdom, what avenue are we taking right now, guys? What avenue are we taking? Are we protecting British culture or are we being subservient to other cultures? Let's just say, to other cultures. And I'll come on to the doctor in a minute because I do think that is a good segue.
Something or someone. It's a truth as old as time. And since waging war is so costly in blood and treasure, we owe our republic a military that will win any war we choose.
Bullshit! I want to win any war I choose! Can you hear what he's saying there, guys? The Americans are getting ready to win any war they choose. That is going to send shivers down the spines of near-peer adversaries.
Or any war that is thrust upon us.
Honestly, guys, like, you know, when I listen to that, I mean, I may even put that as my, I may even have that as my alarm on my phone. Like, I'm saying this as, you know, as British citizen who's looking to leave. I can't believe that speech that was given today, guys. I cannot believe that speech that was given. I mean, the full speech is a lot longer. So powerful, guys, so powerful. And for those of you guys who've served in the military, I'm envious. I'm envious of America right now, guys. I really am. I'm envious of America. I don't know how long it's going to last. I hope it lasts a long time. I hope America are going to come over here and give us a constitution. But honestly, guys, like I'm so, it is what it is. Right. Let me jump onto the comments, guys. Let me roll my sleeves up and put my elbow pads slightly higher. So that's what's happening in the United States right now. And here in the UK, hang on, have I got this video up? I don't think I've got the video right. So I've got the video right. So here in the UK, David Lammy, I can't even say this without, I think I need like a whiskey or something. David Lammy in the UK, so he's the second in command of the country, you know, second in command of the nuclear. If there's any Americans watching out there, can you come over here and remove the nuclear codes from David Lammy and just make it so David Lammy never has access to nuclear codes? Can you do that, please? I would appreciate that. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I guess we're on. Listen, I just went off on one then because I did feel passionately about that. I mean, that speech was fantastic. If you're watching, ladies and gentlemen, can you like, follow, subscribe, bell notification, the buttons? If you're watching on TikTok, they're there. If you're watching on YouTube, they're there. If you're watching on X, they're up there somewhere. Can you do those buttons, guys, that help a brother out? Help a brother out, fam. Help a brother out, fam. The conceptuality and the disparity right now between strong and weak is as clear as day and night. Here in the United Kingdom, I don't think I'm being controversial by saying we have a weak government. I don't think I'm being controversial by saying in the United States, they have a strong government. And can you see the difference? Can you see the difference now, guys? The United States, we're not putting up with this bullshit. We are going full war fighting. Anybody who wants to throw down, I'll draw that smoky gun wagon. Unbelievable, guys, unbelievable. And then we've got kids, and then we've got David Lammy. Sorry, I do apologize. We've got David Lammy. David Lammy in the United Kingdom. He is saying that Nigel Farage flirted with a certain youth organization in Germany. He said Nigel Farage flirted with the youth organization in Germany that I can't say while I'm streaming. And then when he was asked about it again, David Lammy said, yes, I have no evidence that this ever happened, and I don't know why I said it. I mean, is this the motherfucker that's second in command of our country? Guys, please, are we living in a parody right now? We are the second in command of the United Kingdom. I mean, he's only one rent boy short of having the nuclear codes, guys, believe me. David Lammy is only one rent boy short of the nuclear codes. I promise you. He's one Ukrainian model short of those nuclear codes. So David Lammy, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to have to talk in code. I'll talk about this more when we jump over to YouTube. David Lammy, earlier, like this morning, I think it was, or maybe this afternoon, he said Nigel Farage flirted with a certain German youth group in the 1940s. And then when the news, and then he was asked about it later on in the day, and he said, oh, yes, I don't actually have any evidence of that being real. I just said it. I'm like, David, you're second in command of a country with nuclear weapons, mate. You can't make shit up. It doesn't work like that. That's not how the game is played. Honestly, guys, you know, and then you see Pete Hegseth come up there and he's just knocking the ball out of the court. Honestly, absolutely crazy. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I definitely need a wee. I need a wee. While I'm gone to the toilet, ladies and gentlemen, would you mind talking among yourselves? I'm literally going to run out there. I'm probably not even going to go to the toilet. I'm probably going to go to the drain just outside the extension. So I'm going to be less than 30 seconds. Wait there, ladies and gentlemen. Can you share my stuff? Can you guys share my stuff on your socials? That really helps me out, guys. I'm gonna be jumping onto the comments as soon as I get back. Crazy times, crazy world, crazy future. Everything's going crackers, and apparently aliens are on their way. Right, I have got. Look at my hair. I feel like John. Do you think my hair's getting like John Wick? Linda Lewis saying Sean has got right. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I've got the chats open. Listen, guys, I don't know if everyone's being good on the chats. Look, guys, all right. Just a quick caveat on the chat. If you're gonna call me out on the chat on YouTube, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, right? I don't believe I'm ever. I don't believe I'm ever offensive to people without due cause. So if you're going to jump on the chat and call me out and say I'm wrong, articulate it. Because earlier on, we had someone on the chat on YouTube. I had to block him, and he was just quoting stuff off the Quran. And I was like, dude, I don't understand. I don't understand what you mean. So look, guys, I welcome people with diverse opinions. I welcome, I welcome people with adverse opinions, diverse opinions, because ultimately, guys, I do think that's a good thing. So just be kind, be courteous, be polite when you're calling me out. Don't be rude, don't swear, and don't be threatening. And I won't block anyone, guys, I promise you. The live stream is, ladies and gentlemen, the United States are preparing for war. World War III looks like it's on its way, and the United States are planning to win. Go figure. Go figure. The United States are planning to win World War III. The United Kingdom are planning to roll over and just give money to everyone. Oh, have some money. Have some money. Oh, what, you want to attack us? Yeah, have some money. Oh, you're going to bomb us? Yeah, have some money. What, free food and accommodation? Yeah, bring your fighters over. We'll look after them. Right, I'm going to play another video real quick. Do you know what? I'm not going to play a video real quick. I'm going to jump into the comments on YouTube. George Ryan. Hello, George Ryan. George Ryan on YouTube. Let me just start by prefacing this, whatever your message says, so I'm not read it. What a strong, powerful Western name you have. George Ryan. What a beautiful name. George Ryan is saying, good evening, everyone, and good evening to you, George. I know the world has gone nuts, but just peace out and listen to your hearts. What will be, will be. We can't change anything sending love. Gay. Absolutely gay. George, don't message again. George, I'm good with your messages, mate. I'm absolutely good with those type of messages, right? When the Muslims and everybody else is like calling for jihad on the United Kingdom, and you're saying, whatever will be, will be. The future's not hard to see. George, mate, with respect, I take it back. George Ryan's, and I can't even say what I'm going to say because the YouTube algorithm, the TikTok algorithm will swizzle me. What I'm going to say is what Pete Hegseth said. Let's prepare for war. Let's be bigger, stronger, tougher than anyone else. And in that context, we will be providing peace to the people we are supposed to provide peace to. So, George, I respect your comment, mate. Thank you for your comment. But yeah, you guys know I don't read the comments, do you? I obviously don't read the comments before I put them up. That's why you guys are here on my live stream, because I just rock these guys like a smoky gun wagon. I will go with these comments straight up. I don't know what I'm going to get. From now, he's saying scientists have discovered that 3I Atlas, a massive interstellar object that potentially has an alien tech, is much larger than previously thought. A new paper by Harvard astrophysicists. Is this that guy, Avi Loeb? Earlobe? Is this that guy, Earlobe? Every time he comes up, it's always aliens. David O'Rourke is saying Yemen announces it will strike US oil companies, such as Exxon, Chevron in nearby seas. Wow, that's a massive thing. So for those of you guys don't know, Exxon and Chevron, I think they're the biggest US taxpayers. Amazon might be up there now. I'm pretty sure Exxon is the biggest. I'm pretty sure big oil companies, guys, big oil companies. So like billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars a month in profit. They have more money than they know what to do with when we're talking about Exxon and Chevron. So if you start striking them, you're going to piss off the Americans. You are absolutely going to piss off the Americans, and you are going to get struck back. Remember what Pete's saying. You want to mess with America? That's fine. You know, if that's on you. Weasel Von Diesel is saying, evening all, Bobblehead, sponsored by Lego, has stated it's time for pensioners to pay their own way. It's on the Telegraph. The purchase of wealthy pensioners, I know, have already been taken. I don't know what that means, guys. I'm not a wealthy pensioner. Guys, the chats are going wild today. When I'm looking at these chats right now, they're like boom, 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 boom. So I'm gonna pre-warn you guys. All right, I do apologize if I can't get everyone's chat this evening, guys. The chat's wild, the chat's crazy. The crux of this live stream is the United States are preparing for war. They are preparing to win World War III. Whenever that's going to go, whenever it's going to happen, it does look like every day we are moving closer and closer to this, guys. It does look like every day we're moving closer and closer. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, women in particular, Americans. If anybody wants to listen to a real man, a real leader, a real fiery gut bucket, with strength and tenacity that only Tennyson could speak of. Forget Donald Trump. Forget Pete Hegseth. I'm going to play you guys a video now from Keir Starmer. And I know you girls are going to go crazy. You girls are going to go wild. You're going to be wearing your little knickers, and you're going to be like waving your bras around and throwing your knickers at Keir Starmer. I know you girls are going to be doing that. I know you are. I'm going to play a video now from Keir Starmer. I'm going to try. I promise you guys, I am going to try and play this video without stopping it. I know I always say that, and I've never done it. I appreciate I've never done that, guys, all right? But I'm going to try and play this video without stopping it, if I can, and then we'll give commentary afterwards. So this is from his speech today. Let me tell you. I did it straight away. I didn't even get 2 seconds in. Right, let me rewind that. Right, let me tell you is how he starts it.
And let me tell you, I also know what I stand for them. And I have had enough of lectures from self-appointed champions of working people who want to shred our public service, level down workers' rights, crash the economy like this Trump. Politicians who lie to this.
Right, stop. Yeah. If you live in the United Kingdom right now, the economy's being crashed. There's nothing like, he doesn't like, I don't even know if he believes what he's saying. I don't know. I'm 50-50. The economy in the United Kingdom is already broken. They've done this. Taxes, 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 more taxes. Oh, you guys are going unemployed. Right, we're going to tax you more. It's wild if you live in the UK, guys. It's like the Wild West right now.
Country unleashed chaos and walked away after Brexit to equivocate
Listen to the steals. Listen to those people. Listen to those people in the crowd clapping. So there we are, guys. You know, Keir Starmer saying he's not going to, excuse me, I do apologize. Keir Starmer saying he's going to take no more lectures from Nigel Farage. And look, guys, I'll be honest with you. I've seen a change in Farage over the last 3, 4, maybe 5 weeks. He's become like old school Farage again. He really has. He's become old school Farage. He's talking about, again, I don't know where we stand, guys. I don't trust any of them. But one of the things that the government are saying, they're saying that, you know, other people do not. I did a video on it before. What did I say? I can't remember what I said on that video. I did a video on it before, and I said, yeah, I said, you know, people are saying that Nigel Farage and reform and the far right, whatever that means. I guess it's if you don't want your kids raped, do you want your kids raped? Well, you must be a centrist. Do you want your kids raped? No. Ah, you're far right. Oh, right. Okay, that's far right. So one of the things I did on a video before, I did a video and I was saying, Nigel Farage is a threat to the British way of life, and I was like, yeah, that's what I want. That is what I want. This British way of life that we've got right now, where doctors are doing things to women, where women are getting dragged off the streets by gangs. We're not going to say where those gangs come from, guys, because if we say where those gangs come from, it's racist. Just gangs of men that have come about in the last 5 to 10 years, gangs of men that stay in hotels are picking girls up off the streets, running them into woods like hyenas, and doing things to those girls. I'm good. I don't want that British way of life, ladies and gentlemen. I'm good. I'm opposed to it. And if Keir Starmer wants that British, you see how they're gaslighting everyone, guys. You see how the gaslighting works. I don't want the British way of life where people are using dinner utensils to fight with. And I'll give you a clue. It's not a fork or a spoon. I want the British way of life where two people have an argument in a pub, they go outside, they deal with it, then they have fish and chips together, go back in the pub and have a pint together. That's the British way of life I want. It is. That's the British way of life I want, which is not the one that we have now. So when people say that Nigel Farage is against the British way of life, I'm like, yeah, so am I, guys. So am I. Count me in. Count Raven in on that one, guys. What else have we got? Right, ladies and gentlemen, right, listen, guys. This is a little bit distasteful, but I think it needs to be said. When I got on the live stream earlier on, I said to you guys, I said, right, I was going to do this right at the beginning. I'm going to do it now. All right. Now, this is a headline from, where's it from? The Daily Mail. Say what you want. That's absolutely fine. So this is the headline from the British mainstream media, all right? Published today, 30th of September. NHS doctor held down woman on staircase and raped her. That's the headline. NHS doctor. I'm not even going to speculate, guys. I'm just going to go with the headline. I'll read it again. This is the headline from the mainstream media in the United Kingdom. Published today, 30th of September, 12:26 p.m., I'm assuming. NHS doctor held down woman on staircase and her. And NHS, I'll read it now, guys. It's distasteful, but so NHS doctor. So for those of you guys who've watched House, you're thinking this doctor's name is like Jonathan Pimbleton. Kevin Frankward. Mike Smith. David Hasselton. I'll continue. That's what I'm thinking anyway. When I hear NHS doctor, an NHS doctor forcefully held down a woman on a staircase, lifted up her dress and did the thing. Later the same evening, Dr. So this is his name, Osaraim Idorogohon. I don't even know what that means. If somebody said that to me, Osara mi Idogorohon, I'd say, bro, do not cast your voodoo magic spells on me. I'm a Christian, don't you know? And that shit don't work on me. So anyway, that's his name. You know, when I read this article, I first thought this was going to be something like Jonathan Pemberton or Michael Earnshaw. Michael Earnshaw. I was like, yeah, this is definitely a Michael Earnshaw. But no, apparently, Dr. Osarimi Ederogan, 39. Sorry, so later that evening, the doctor allegedly did the thing to the woman again while she was on the phone to her friend. So he's a multiple. Yes, I come to the UK and I do crazy things. Oh, I do crazy things, but I cannot go to jail because I am doctor. I am doctor. I buy doctor for $2,000 from University of Uganda. Obviously, that was satire, guys. That obviously all these doctors that are coming over from other countries, I know that they've all got their qualifications, guys. That was satire. I don't want to get Katie Hopkins. Prosecutor Robert Harding told how the medic had been invited to the woman's house, but without saying a word, he started having just crazy. These are the type of people we have as doctors, guys. Jurors were told how the woman said no, but his grip was so tight. But anyway, guys, look, I just thought I'd throw that one out there. It came out today. I know it's distasteful. I know it's off topic. I get it, all right? You know, I get it. It's just like, you know when they say doctors, engineers, scientists, and architects are on their way? Maybe they're right. Right, so ladies and gentlemen, that was an article from the Daily Mail that was published today on the 30th of September at 12:36. You guys want to go and check that out yourself? That's totally fine. Sorry, guys, I'm just going to get some chat on YouTube. Hello, you fantastic YouTube chat community. You guys are awesome. You guys are fantastic. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, the United States are preparing for war. World War III. America is ready. Pete Hegseth has just nailed the speech. Absolutely nailed the speech. And it shows to me why you need a strong leader. And when we're talking about military, for somebody to for somebody to reign that amount of respect throughout the military, they need to be ex-military. Do you think I'd make a good defense secretary? Do you think I would, guys? I think I would. I think, in fact, I know for Britain, I would make the best defense secretary we've ever had. I'd probably change my title as well to War Secretary. I would totally empower British Special Forces with ambiguous, like I would say, right, you guys go do what you got to do. We're not going to ask any questions. Just here's the money, go do it. And do you know what would happen? Do you know what would happen if I was Defense Secretary in the UK? Do you know what would happen? This is what would happen if I was Defense Secretary in the United Kingdom. If somebody came over to the United Kingdom and did some, like from another country, and they say, "Oh, help me! Come on, we'll give you some money, whatever." This is how Raven would roll, guys. I promise you, this is how I would roll. If somebody came to this country and hurt children in this country, if somebody came to this country in seek of aid and need of charity, and then they decided to take our charity and hurt our children, do you know what Raven would do? I would say, okay. I'd bring him in. I would start laughing at him. I would say, right, mate. I would go to my military. I would say, right, this is the town that this person's from. This is the village. This is the city. In 24 hours, I want that city wiped off the map. And I'm going to live stream it to him. That's how I'd roll. And then I would broadcast that to everybody else. And I'd say, right, you want to come to the United Kingdom? Fine. We'll look after you. You're scared because you're getting put. Fine, I got you. You start messing with our kids, I will destroy your village and your livelihood. Wherever you hail from, I would turn that into rubble. I would probably have Benjamin Netanyahu condemning me. Benjamin Netanyahu would probably be up there doing speeches saying, "We condemn Raven's actions. It's not against the..." I'd be like, you know what? I don't even care because I care about the children in this country. And how many more of those attacks do you think we'd get, guys? You know, when the first, I'm not going to go on, guys. I'm not going to go on. You guys know. Anyway, right. Let me continue. Sorry, guys. I'm just so sick and tired. I'm so sick and tired of living in the UK. And every day you open the news. Osararim Edoragan, 39, did this to the woman. Woman dragged off the street. A gang of these people, and you know what they look like. Oh, they're all, yeah, they did this to this woman. We've got 2 girls. Is it wrong for me to want safety for our girls? Does that make me some kind of bigot that I don't want my girls to have to live up in a world where I'm constantly there? Where I'm taking away their freedoms? Sorry, guys. Let me get some comments. Sorry, guys. I'm just jumping up to get the comments. Gert is saying you would become one of them. They would enforce it. Freedom of choice no longer exists. Whitehall controls the people. I think I may be. Have you done another comment, Gert? I don't know what that means, Gert. So Freddie over on YouTube is saying Rachel Reeves to lift 2-child benefit cap in November budget. Who do you think is going to be having the kids, guys? Who do you think's going to be having the kids in the UK? So look, guys, if you live in the United Kingdom and you don't know this, but if you have children, the government will only pay, I don't know what it is, but the government in the UK will only pay for your first 2 children. Rachel Reeves is due to lift that cap in November. Who do you think's going to be having loads of kids? Who do you think's going to be having loads of kids? Just to let you guys know, you know, if a migrant has a child in the UK, they get to stay because they've got a child in the UK. I don't know, guys. Maybe it's going to be a good thing. The sooner we leave to Antarctica, the better. The sooner we leave, guys, the better. John is saying, the thing is, my friend, this would have made headline news a few years ago. Now it doesn't even. Yeah, exactly. We are so numb. We are so numb to people with names like Oso. I don't even know if I'm saying this right. Osarimi, Edagon. I don't even know what he looks like. You know what? I'm going to Google him, see what he looks like. I don't even know what he looks like. I just believe that is not a British name. Let me Google him real quick. Honestly, my search history is going to be crackers. Right, the only images I've got, it's just like a load of black people. I searched on the name and then I clicked images. I've just got a load of, I think it's a Nigerian name. I can't find, there's no one picture that's like repeating that's him. Right, you guys on TikTok, I'm going to be closing this down pretty soon and jumping over to YouTube. So guys, listen, if you're on TikTok and you've not done so already, first of all, guys, can you like, comment, subscribe, bell notification, hit those buttons that help this channel out, because I really do appreciate each and every one of those buttons. Share my stuff on your socials, guys. That really helps me out. The crux of this live stream, prepare for war. America is getting ready. Not only are they getting ready for World War III, they are getting ready to win World War III. And what do I always say on this channel, guys, okay? Avoid wars at all costs. At all costs. But win. If you find yourself in a war, win that war at all costs. So I'm going to be over on TikTok, guys. I'm going to be over on YouTube for a little bit longer. I will continue this chat over on YouTube. If you guys want to jump over, that would be absolutely fine. But if not, guys, absolutely fine as well. Oh, Tim Dyson is saying, hang on a minute, let me get this. Tim Dyson is saying, are you actually on Earth? I don't know. Who really is on Earth? What is Earth? Tim Dyson, could you just like elaborate a little bit more on what you're saying, or jump over to YouTube and elaborate what you're saying? Because like, I don't know what that means. Are you actually on Earth? There was a Duran Duran song called Planet Earth. What No Surrender is saying, hang on a minute, something. Right, where's What No Surrender gone? Hang on. Somebody called What No Surrender just put a comment then in it. Right, okay. What No Surrender is saying, on the verge of World War III, lots of tankers heading over to the Middle East. Are you talking about like, what kind of tankers do you mean that are heading over to the Middle East? What No Surrender? I know this was like an older comment, but what's No Surrender? Where are you getting that from? on the verge of World War III, lots of tankers heading over to the Middle East. Where are you getting that from? Can you let me know where you're getting that from? What kind of tankers you mean on that? Yeah, I'd really appreciate that. In fact, let me close that one. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, you guys don't know how difficult it is to run like 3 different chats. I've got the TikTok chat, I've got the YouTube chat, and I've got the X chat. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, because I got you. I got you, bro. I got you, bro. You know when Raven turns up? You know when everything's going wrong? And people are on the phone, Raven, we need you, Raven. And I turn up and I'm like, I got you, bro. Everybody just, when I get there, when I finally get there, everybody's just like, oh, Raven's here. Oh, you guys actually think, don't you? Let's be honest. Who thinks Raven is a name that I gave myself? Just as a show of hands, who thinks that Raven is a name that I gave myself? Google it. Right, hang on a minute. Google it there, saying. So Google it is saying, sure, this will be the last comment, guys, and I'll jump over to YouTube. Google it is saying, Sean, I thought you said TikTok was going to be a sub-only chat from now on. Yes, I did. Now, there's a thing. You might have missed it in one of the previous live streams. I can't do sub-only chats now. The only button that I can press, on when you're starting the live stream is super fan only chats. Now, and I'm still trying to get to the bottom of this, guys. This is for the TikTok guys. Okay, so I don't want you guys to pay £9.50 or whatever it is. I think that's ridiculous. I've no idea where that price cap comes from. I've no idea, guys. No idea where that price cap comes from. So Google it. Yes, I did. I don't have an option anymore, mate, to put sub-only chats. I can only do super fans or whatever. And that's like $9.50. I'd never ask you guys to pay for that because it's ridiculous. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close this down now. I'm going to be over on YouTube. I'm going to open up a little bit more. I may even get a little carbonated drink or a little glass of wine, whatever you guys want. I'm gonna put it to the chat on YouTube. Do I get myself a glass of wine or a carbonated drink? That's the question I'm going to be asking when I jump over. If you're not jumping over to YouTube, guys, I'll probably be on for like another 15 minutes, half an hour. I'll open up a little bit more, tell you about more of the stuff that's happening. I can speak more openly over on YouTube. If you're not going to jump over to YouTube, guys, absolutely fine. I'm the Real Raven 1 on YouTube. I'm the Real Raven 1 on X. If you're not going to be jumping over there, guys, I can see the chat going crazy right now, guys. The chat is going crazy. I'm going to probably be a bouncer over there, but I will be back on tomorrow morning at 10. That's UK time, the only time, the real time, because let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, all time. The United Kingdom dictates time. All time starts and ends in the United Kingdom. Anyway, guys, I'm going to close this down now. I'll see you in the morning at 10. Or if not, I'll see you over on YouTube. I'm the Real Raven 1 on YouTube. We are, oh no, we're not off. And we are off, ladies and gentlemen. Right, I'm just going to jump straight down and get these comments, guys, okay? What am I doing, guys? Am I getting a carbonated drink, a cold carbonated drink, or am I getting a glass of Raven's Special Reserve? A little glass. Like Sarah's mum always says, get me a little glass. And then when you bring her a little glass, she's saying, put a bit more in. Oh, hang on a minute. Guys, we may be changing the chat totally. Guys, hang on a minute. David O'Rourke is saying massive strato tanker. So strato tankers are the air-to-air refueling aircraft. Right. Okay. Just David. Guys, listen. Can just David O'Rourke What happened then, guys? Am I still on? Guys, am I still on? Guys, am I still on? Ladies and gentlemen, am I still on? Am I still streaming? Guys, am I still streaming? I don't know if I'm streaming. Am I still... It just went crackers. I don't know what just happened. I'm on. Right, okay. What just happened then, guys? What just happened? Right, okay, so I'm on. Right. David O'Rourke, where are you getting that information from, buddy? Serious question, mate. Where are you getting that information from? Because I want, because that is massive. What David O'Rourke is saying there is absolutely huge. Where are you getting that information from, mate? Right, I'm waiting for David O'Rourke to jump back. Right, so listen, guys, David O'Rourke has just said, he just came up with a message and he said there's a lot of aircraft moving towards, well, he didn't actually say the Middle East, but now I've got two separate reports, one from TikTok, one from YouTube, saying that there are refueling tankers. And again, I'm jumping between the scenes here, guys. I'm trying to like fill the dots. So some of the things I'm saying may be slightly off, but I'm not trying to deceive anyone. I'm trying to put these dots together. So on the TikTok chat, we had somebody saying that there are tankers heading over to the Middle East. I said to that person, I said, where are you getting that from? What does that actually mean? And what they actually said was, okay, right, we are actually getting this from, sorry. And then David O'Rourke said on the YouTube chat, yeah, we're actually getting aircraft, air-to-air refueling. Guys, look, you're under no illusion. What do I always say on this channel? I always say on this channel. Do you know why I know I always say it on this channel? Because I say it. What I say on this channel is, when these two world leaders meet, normally the Friday or the next Friday after, in this circumstance with Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu, you would have this Friday coming, a big military movement. Now, if there are these strato tankers moving into place, what I know is that the Israeli military do not have the long-range strike capacity with their aircraft. They don't have them. They don't have the air-to-air refueling capability. But what their NATO, what their allies do have is that. So normally when the Israelis are going to do a long-range strike, they ask for the help of their allies to, you know, give them refueling. And again, another thing that I've said on this channel more than once, ladies and gentlemen, another thing I've said on this channel more than once is, you know, all this like this spat where Britain is being, you know, I've said about the diversions where the United Kingdom are going to focus. Guys, I'm trying to like paraphrase a lot of stuff. Where the United Kingdom are going to go into lead in Europe against the Russians, and the United States are going to go into the Middle East, and they're going to have a war with Iran. I've said that, like, you know, I've been saying that for over a year. This diversions where they're both being critical of each other, it's fake. And what I always said is the litmus test is RAF Akrotiri. So RAF Akrotiri is on the southern peninsula of, go on. Of somewhere, it's on the southern peninsula somewhere of Cyprus. It's like the whole southern peninsula. It's RAF Akrotiri. Britain are very good at controlling access and egress. RAF Akrotiri is a key location because RAF Akrotiri, they can take heavy aircraft, they can have troops land, billet, train, arm, resupply, barracks them. That is the key location. So what I've always said is, right, no matter what is happening on the media, and Keir Starmer with his little speeches and David Lammy saying that, look, guys, I can say it now, we're on YouTube. David Lammy said that Nigel Farage flirted with the Hitler Youth in a speech. And then he was questioned about it on, I think it was Sky News or GB News. And then David Lammy said, well, actually, yeah, I don't have any, I'm paraphrasing, guys, for entertainment purposes. He said that, oh, yeah, well, I don't actually have any evidence of that, but Yeah, I'll let the viewers decide. And you're like, hang on a minute, mate. You are second in command of the country. You are one rent boy away. Like David Lammy, guys, let's not be under any illusion. David Lammy is one Ukrainian rent boy away from having those nuclear codes. That's where we are. That is where we are. And I watch these speeches by Pete Hegseth, and I'm like, oh, God, by the beard of Zeus and Odin's eye. Right, I'm still waiting. Where did we get that information from, guys? Where did we get that information? Freddie is saying, by international law, Starmer is now a war criminal based on his new ruling that Israel committed a genocide. How? I don't know how that works, but that's the comment. Endeavour to Preserve is saying we always have tankers in the air all over the face of Earth. Listen, I don't know if this is a thing or it's a thing, or I don't know what's happening right now, but it does look like, listen, guys, nobody can deny the speech that was just given by Pete Hegseth. The United States are preparing for war. Not only are they preparing for war, they're preparing to win that war. I think that's a good thing. Tina Donnelly is saying, I seen my first drone, I'm sure, in Scotland, just outside Glasgow. Crazy times. You see, this is the thing with drones, guys. You know, there's drones. In fact, hang on. There are drones, and then there are drones. You know, anyone, like, you know, I can go and buy I can go and buy a little drone in, like, I don't know, what's it called, like Curry's PC World, whatever that's called. You know, if we're talking about big, heavy payload, yes, of course, Sean. We need the bigger drone with heavy payload. 50 kilos payload. Yes, very big. Make a lot of damage. Sharon Owen is saying, looks like I've got to hire a bus. Well, if you have to hire a bus, Sharon, then hire a bus. Hang on, what's the exile saying? David Lammy doesn't seem very bright. I actually, I take offense to that, actually. I think David Lammy is one of the most intellectual, articulate politicians that Britain has. Right, okay, David Roki. Right, okay, it's all over X and Flight Radar. Right, let me just have a look at this, guys. Let me just check this out. I have to be careful what I say. Okay, right, I'm getting this, right, okay. Yeah, okay, right. Yeah. Sorry, guys, I'm just reading this. Right, okay. US is set, right, guys, right, okay. So thank you, David O'Rourke, for putting me onto this. I had no idea. Thank you so much for putting me onto this. So look, guys, so we're talking about, let's just conceptualize this right now, okay? Let's just conceptualize this, these lethality options, okay? So we have got Pete Hegseth coming up there saying he's the minister of, not the ministry, the secretary of war, which I think is a good thing. We have now got within a matter of hours, the US is sending dozens of tanker planes and fighter jets to the Middle East. I'm just reading this, guys. These are ex posts, okay? These are ex posts. The US Air Force has, right, this is from, I'm trying to get the source, guys. I'm just really conscious about getting the source. I think this is what was posted to me. Oh, no. So this is from Grok. All right. I'm quoting Grok right now, guys. I'm quoting Grok. So this is from Grok. US Air Force deploys tankers and fighter jets to the Middle East amid Iran tensions. The US Air Force has deployed at least a dozen KC-135 Strato tankers, KC-40, a lot of other stuff. Pentagon officials described the action as routine deterrence against threats from Iran-backed groups, while Iranian leaders have warned of potential retaliation against US bases in the region. Guys, look, under no illusion, we are heading towards a global conflict on an industrial scale. I've been telling you guys, and that phrase that I give you guys there, an industrial scale, I don't think people understand. The Americans understand it. They're turning their, the Americans definitely understand it. Industrial scale. The war, well, it wasn't even a war. The conflicts in Afghanistan and Iraq were special forces operations. They were special forces operations whereby you would go in, you would take down the leadership, and the rest of them would run. That's what you did. That's how the British forces in 2000 and the British military in 2000 and I want to say 2005. I think between 2005 and 2006. Call it 2005 and 2007. The British military closed down the Taliban in the Helmand region. Just closed them down. Within like 12, 18 months, closed them down. They didn't want to play. They were like, no, we're good. We don't want to play these games. We ain't got the toys. We ain't got the toys. We ain't got the training. We ain't got the capacity. We ain't got the manpower. We ain't got the will. Like, can you imagine these like Taliban guys? They think that they're going to get protected by some holy spirit. They're there in their little cave, dark, got their little fires. They're talking about how protected they are. And then all of a sudden, in the distance, they hear, waka, 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 waka. And it gets louder, waka, 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 and louder and louder and louder and louder and louder. And then all of a sudden, the cave is shaking because they're getting indirect fire off of the AC-130. And then the next thing, you've got people with British accents storming through that place. And that's it. That's pretty much it. Or they may hear the barking of a dog, like a Malinois. And then the last thing they feel is a Malinois going, "Arr!" And that's it. The war in Ukraine is going to be a totally different kettle of fish, guys. Totally different kettle of fish. The war the potential war that may or may not be fought, although I would speculate it will be, in the Middle East, is going to be totally different. People are not going to play games anymore. People have understood, and this is, when I talk about these things, when I talk about global conflict, I know what I'm talking about. When we talk about these global conflicts, and we talk about the Middle East, people learned lessons from the Middle East. It wasn't that long ago, guys. It wasn't that long ago. Pete Hegseth, he's got a lot of experience, and his bros and his homies, they'll know how to fight a war in the Middle East. They will know what went right and what went wrong. And I would speculate going woke goes wrong. If you're going to, like I always say, guys, look, if you're going to fight a war, let me caveat this. Avoid wars at all costs. If you're in a war, you win it at all costs. And to win a war, you need to make sure that your enemy doesn't regroup and come back. Put this on a real small level now. Like, I don't know. Imagine you're in the countryside and there's just go with it, guys. Go with this explanation. Just go with it. Imagine you're in the countryside, you're in the military, and there's a bunker, and the bunker start machine gun firing you. You know, what do? Do you go and take that bunker out, or do you shoot back until it stops shooting at you? All right, okay, so we're shooting back. The bunker stops shooting us. Right, stop shooting at it now. Stop shooting at that bunker now. It's over. And then the bunker starts shooting at you again. And they're all right. Shoot back at that bunker. Right, the bunker stopped. Right, okay, carry on. Right, the bunker's shooting at us again. Right, shoot back until it stops shooting. What are you going to do? You're going to keep going like that? Or are you going to identify the enemy, win the firefight, attack? The attack's broken down into 3 phases. The approach, the assault, and the fight through. It is. Maybe I just made that up. I don't know. And you're going to make sure that enemy doesn't come back to shoot you again. I would say the latter is a better option because you're going to take less casualties in that context. So that's why I always say avoid wars at all costs. But if you're in that war, you need to win it at all costs. Right, ladies and gentlemen, can you do me a real big favor, please? If you're on right now, and I know you are because I can see you, can you do me a real big favor, guys? Can you like, comment, share, subscribe? If you want to know what's happening in the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months' time, make sure you follow this channel, guys. And if you don't believe me, you think I'm waffling, look back through some of the other videos I've said. Look back through the things I've been talking about. Yes, I do think we're going to have a mass exodus to Antarctica. I do, guys. I think that's coming. Yes, I do think the Americans are going to take over the United Kingdom. Yeah, I think that's coming as well, guys. I really do. Oh, hang on. David O'Rourke is saying, breaking Zelensky. There is a state of emergency at Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. The situation is critical. Guys, is this going to be a long one? Hang on. I'm gonna text I'm gonna text somebody in Ukraine right now. Hang on, guys. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. I may be able to get word from Ukraine itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my phone. I'm going to find that article. Right, I can't find anything, actually, if it's breaking. David, where are you getting that from, mate? Oh, 2 hours ago. Yep, got it. Right, I'm going to get that. I'm going to send this to my mate in Ukraine. I'm going to send this to 2 of them. This is 10 minutes ago. Thank you. I'm going to send this to them in Ukraine. Oh, no, I'm not. Yeah, I am. Hopefully I am, if I can get my fingers right. Gee, what's wrong with my phone? Something wrong with the internet tonight, guys. Bear in mind, Ukraine's 1 hour in front, so all my mates are probably drunk by now. Sorry, guys, I'm just sending this to several people in Ukraine. See if I can get, we may or may not be able to get an update on that from the ground in Ukraine while we're live. The messages have been sent, they've been delivered, they've not seen them yet. Right, okay, it's on been a couple of seconds. Right, yeah, so breaking news. It does look like there's an ongoing situation in Ukraine right now with the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. So just contextually, guys, the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant is right down on the southern, in the south of Ukraine. It's one of the places that I've earmarked. So you've got Zaporizhia on the, so if you think about Ukraine, you've got the River Dnipro that bisects it, more or less 50-50, guys. It might even, obviously it's not going to be exactly 50-50, but it's more or less 50-50. From the bottom then, the key locations are Zaporizhia, Dnipro, the city of, so Zaporizhia has got a big nuclear power plant. I think it's the biggest one in Europe. You've got further north, you've got Dnipro, city Dnipro, on the river Dnipro. That city, Dnipro, heavy steel manufacturing, heavy steel, that's what's produced in Dnipro. A little bit further up, you've got a place called Kremenchuk. Kremenchuk is the world's biggest producer of xenon gas. You need xenon gas for lasers. And then further up, you've obviously got Kiev. Now, Kiev is the jewel in Eastern Europe, guys. It's a beautiful city. Anybody who's ever, if you get a chance to go to Kiev, I would say absolutely take that. Freddie is saying, Sean, watch near the end of October. Keir Starmer is expected to go downhill. You see, I don't think it matters what happens right now in Britain. I think, changing Keir Starmer, it's going to mean nothing because we still have the same people in control. Legalized intellect is saying you have alcoholic friends. Yes, all of them. And I don't make any good. Listen, guys, I won't make any. If I have to make a big decision, I'll make sure I'm drunk before I make that decision. The Exile is saying, Imogen going all the way on a spiritual war and you don't even make a fight because you died. Imagine going all the way on a spiritual war and you don't even make the fight because you died on the way. Alice is saying, well, I think Alice, yeah. Alice is saying, Alice is a great person. We love Alice on this channel. And Alice, I hope you're going to be a powerful contributor to this channel. Alice is saying, the thing I get confused about is that Putin likes Trump. Why would he bomb the USA or UK? Do you know what, Alice? What a fantastic question. I need to go for another wee. I do. Can you hold that thought, Alice? I will come back and I'll give you the answer to that question because I know that question will be on a lot of people's minds. Give me a second. I'm going to go for a wee. I'll come right back. Thank you, Alice, for staying with me. And thank you guys for staying with me. Right, so Alice's question is, the thing is I get confused about is that Putin likes Trump and Trump likes Putin. Why would he bomb the US or the UK? So what you've got to understand is here, the war on terror, the conflict in Afghanistan and Iraq. And I need to give you a little bit of context for this. So what they proved is that if you fight two wars on two fronts, you half your soldiers, you half your combat effectiveness, and you double your enemies. So that's what happened. So, for example, the Americans were deployed in Afghanistan and Iraq. That's what happened. They were deployed in, so they had the Afghanis attacking them and the Iraqis attacking them. And they had half the capacity because they were doing different things. So this new war, what they've said is, right, this is my speculation, my analysis, my opinion, guys, and for entertainment purposes, anything that you take from this is obviously, So for this next war, what they've said is, right, Britain and Europe, you guys need to go and deal with what's happening with the Russians in Ukraine. The Americans, us, yeehaw, we're going to go into the Middle East. That way, they've halved their enemies and doubled their firepower. Because now the Russians are not going to attack the Americans, and the Muslims are not going to attack the British. Although that's the theory, I guess. You know, that's the theory. So in that context, Putin wouldn't bomb the USA. He may bomb the UK, but I think that is the likelihood of that is so small, Alice. There are a lot of other countries. There are a lot of other countries that are in the crosshairs before the United Kingdom. And, you know, there are a lot of ways to skin a cat here in the UK. We have, you know, the threat of sabotage is massive in the United Kingdom. I hope I answered that question. Sorry, guys, I'm just... Why is everybody putting 2? 2? Why is everybody putting 2? I've got loads of people saying 2. I don't know what that means. Guys, why is everybody putting 2? Why is everybody on the chat just writing the number 2? And Every Preserve is saying Putin is currently a little bit busy with Ukraine and will not stop until Ukraine. Yeah, exactly. So that, you know, we've got that conflict there that's contained. And then we've got the new conflict that's going to potentially happen soon in the Middle East. Right. Why is everybody putting 2 in the comments, guys? Someone said 1 no, war 2 for what? Right. Okay. I don't know what you guys are doing in the chat. You guys are wild in the chat. You guys have got your own stuff. Right. Listen, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. I'm just conscious of the time now. I've got some ribs I need to go and get on the barbecue. I'm going to be back on tomorrow morning. I am going to be keeping a check on this. Just refresh it now. I am going to be keeping a check on this tanker, these tankers going into the Middle East, because that is a massive, 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 massive combat indicator right now that these are, you know, moving forwards. Remember, guys, look, let's just remember, all right? Back in November, or was it October? I think it was the 1st of November, actually. I think it was the 1st. It doesn't matter when, because I'll dig you the information. I think it was November the 1st, 2023. In the United States, they passed a bill called House Bill, or whatever it is like 599. And in that bill, it says that the United States would take all action necessary to prevent Iran obtaining a nuclear weapon. That's what they said, guys. It's like House. It's either 599 or 599. They're similar. I always get mixed up. It also said they would support freedom of action of any regional partners, meaning Israel, to prevent Iran gaining a nuclear weapon. Now, what we also know is that the Iranians have said, yes, you've bombed our nuclear facilities, but we're still going to continue. And look, guys, I've said time and time again, you can only do this stuff on the ground. You can't do this stuff from the air. Although I'm a big fan of air support, there are certain things you can only do and confirm on the ground, and you know, making sure the nuclear facilities are not working, that is 100% one of them. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close this live stream down. You guys have been fantastic. Thank you for hanging out with me this evening, guys. All right, thank you so much for hanging out with me. The crux of this live stream has been prepare for war. You know, the Americans are getting ready for World War III. Not only are they getting ready for World War III, they are getting ready to win World War III, which I think is a good thing. I think that's a good thing. Can you imagine? I mean, listen, it wouldn't surprise me if Britain said, right, we are going to prepare for World War III and we are going to make sure we lose it. Yeah, let's get rid of the military, get rid of the Navy, make sure none of the aircraft are working. Yeah, that's how we're getting ready. Like, it wouldn't surprise me, but the Americans are getting ready to win World War III. A lot of tankers from non-confirmed social media, guys. I need to be clear about that. A lot of air-to-air refueling, a lot of fighter jets moving into the Middle East. RAF Akatiri is going to be key, ladies and gentlemen. RAF Akatiri, I keep saying over and over and over again, RAF Akatiri, guys. That is going to be a key location, guys. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be back on tomorrow morning at 10. Let's see what transpires in the next 48 to 12 hours. Let's keep our finger on the pulses for this Friday, guys. We've got a lot of military movements. We've got 2 world leaders just meeting. So this thing could absolutely blow up on Friday. No pun intended. Anyway, guys, like I said, thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you in the morning.